The Tiger I heavy tank began its operational duty in late 1942. While the tank has been called an outstanding design for its time, it has also been called over-engineered, using expensive materials and labor-intensive production methods. In the early period, the Tiger was prone to certain types of track failures and breakdowns. The Tiger tanks were employed in heavy tank battalions or schwere Panzerabteilungen under Army command. These battalions would be deployed to critical sectors for breakthrough operations or for counterattacks. But a few elite divisions, such as the Großdeutschland, also had a Tiger company in their tank regiments. On the battlefield, the Tiger tanks needed a high degree of support. Due to its size and weight, the high number of breakdowns and the recovery of battle-damaged vehicle was to prove a real headache for the German tank mechanics. The tanks were immensely valuable and had to be recovered at all cost. However, the German infrastructure, and in particular the recovery vehicles to support the easy recovery of such a heavy machine, was found to be severely wanting. The standard German Panzer repair unit attached to a Panzerabteilung or tank battalion was the Panzer Werkstattzug or the workshop platoon. But the Tiger battalions received a larger unit, a full Werkstattkompanie or workshop company, which was normally allocated only to the Panzer regiments. All workshop company had 2 workshop platoons with the mechanics and a Bergezug or a recovery platoon. On the march, the repair sections traveled with the tank units and dealt with any breakdowns in vehicles or equipment, insofar as these repairs could be effected in less than 4 hours and with field equipment. If a tank broke down, the repair section leader inspected it and determined the nature of the damage. If the damage warranted it, the tank was handed over to the recovery platoon to be towed away. Otherwise, a motorcycle with mechanics stayed with the tank to effect repairs, while the other elements of the repair section went on with the rest of the column. When the Tiger tank battalions were engaged, they were followed more closely by the recovery teams and their vehicles. Germany's primary tank recovery vehicle was the Sonderkraftfahrzeug or Special Purpose Vehicle 9 FAMO, a German half-track that saw widespread use during World War II. It was the heaviest half-track vehicle of any type built in quantity in Germany during the war years. Approximately 2,500 were produced between 1939 and 1945. The Sonderkraftfahrzeug 9 was designed to have a towing capacity of 28 tons. This was totally adequate for medium tanks like the Panzer III. This version could also carry an earth spade in the rear to anchor the tractor to the ground for it to pull heavy loads with its winch installed in the middle of the chassis. To recover a vehicle, the frame was dropped with the winch and the spade attached to it. The winch cable was then unhooked from the frame, removed from the upper pulley and extended to the rear for coupling to the vehicle to be recovered. The winch was located under the body and was controlled at the rear of the vehicle. However, the main problem was that the FAMO Schwerer Zugkraftwagen, or heavy recovery tractor, could not actually tow the tank. Up to 3 FAMO tractors were usually needed to pull away just one Tiger. It was the case, therefore, that a second Tiger was needed to tow a disabled machine, but on such occasions the engine of the towing Tiger often overheated and sometimes resulted in an engine breakdown or even a fire. Tiger tanks were therefore strictly forbidden by regulations to tow crippled comrades. However, in practice, this order was routinely disobeyed in the field, as the alternative was the total loss of a large number of tanks that could otherwise have been saved. It was also discovered too late that the low-mounted sprocket limited the obstacle clearing height of the tank. The wide Tiger tracks also had a bad tendency to override the sprocket, resulting in immobilization. If a track overrode and jammed, 2 Tigers were normally needed to tow away the tank. The jammed track was also a big problem itself, since due to high tension, it was often impossible to disassemble the track by removing the track pins. It was sometimes simply blown apart with an explosive charge. During the war, several reports from the Schwere Panzerabteilung 501, 502 and 503 were sent to the Paderborn training grounds, the German Army's Tiger Tank Training Center, highlighting the issues of the battlefield recovery. One report stated, "To recover a Tiger, 3 Zugmaschinen are usually needed. 2 if the roads have a good surface. But on difficult terrain like ice, snow and mud, often 6 or even 8 Zugmaschinen were needed for recovering. In the southern sector of the front, Tigers were recovered by other Tigers because the Zugmaschinen had already failed due to overstraining or were simply used for loading trains." Another report from Tunisia in March of 1943 says, "On hard ground, an immobilized Tiger can normally be recovered easily by 2 Zugmaschinen. The Tiger is attached with towing bars. The power of the 18-ton FAMO is sufficient to recover a Tiger. However, one FAMO cannot manage longer recovery routes because the Tiger pushes it to the side. Because of this factor, a second FAMO must be attached with cables. This results in holding the attached FAMO straight. When recovering a Tiger over mountain roads with steep declines and tight curves, it is absolutely necessary to weigh down the Tiger with an attached heavy vehicle, at best a Panzer III medium tank. Otherwise, the Tiger becomes unmanageable and will push off the side in spite of a second FAMO being attached. In emergencies, without aid or paying attention to suspension or track damage, one Panzer III tank managed to recover a broken-down Tiger out of the enemy-threatened sector. In these cases, try to restrict recovery to the shortest distance because the steering brakes in the Panzer III are much overtaxed. Recovering a tiger with another tiger has still not been satisfactorily accomplished because the necessary towing devices are simply not available. The tiger must be used to recover another tank, especially under enemy fire, because the FAMOs are too weak for recovering the tiger tank. They got torn up. The rear transverse frame is not strong enough and is not attached strongly enough to the side members. The 13 Tiger Tank Company of the Panzer Regiment Großdeutschland also reported on their experience in employing the Tiger in March of 1943. With the exception of known childhood diseases, the Tiger has proven itself to be good. Already, it can be said that its reliability is superior than the Panzer III and Panzer IV. When routine care and maintenance are accomplished, that means 1 day for maintenance for 3 days in action, even the way it is now, the Tiger can achieve exceptional success. According to the reports in the second half of the war, the reliability of the heavy tank improved. From early 1944 to March of 1945, the reliability of the Tiger tank was comparable to the Panzer IV. With an average of 70%, the Tiger's operational availability on the Western Front was better than the 62% of the Panthers. On the Eastern Front, the 65% of Tigers were operationally available compared to 71% of the Panzer IV and 65% of the Panthers. In the second part of the war, new and much better armored recovery vehicles started to appear, like the Berge Panzerwagen 5, often referred to as the Berge Panther. The Berge Panther was quite reliable in its area of responsibility, and thanks to its armor, it could also be used under enemy fire. The Heavy Tiger and its variants could be recovered without any problems by only one Berge Panther. However, the large Sonderkraftfahrzeug 9 FAMU was used to recover the Tiger tanks until the very last day of the war. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and to make sure you don't miss my future work, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you, and see you in the next video.